Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. Today I want to talk to you about remembering. I know a lot of us have pandemic fatigue, and we all want this pandemic to be over, and we want to return to a more normal life where we could go to work and we could see people and our children could go back to school. But I noticed lately that although there's social distancing and there are masks in New York City, things are a little more normal. And the minute I feel things are a little more normal, I have a tendency to speed up. I remember when the pandemic first started, it was tough to get food deliveries and there was a lot of stuff out of stock. And I remember the first time I was able to get chocolate chips and I was able to get flour and I was able to bake with my girls. I remember how sacred it felt to me, how blessed and grateful I was. And I remember that first bite of that cookie, which we hadn't had in weeks. And I've noticed that as food has become more available, I'm a little looser with leftovers, and there are chocolate chips in the drawer that I don't even notice or look at or give extra thanks for. And I don't want all of these feelings to go away. I don't want the sacredness of each moment, of each blessing, of each thing to be lost when the pandemic's gone. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. There have been moments with family members and friends and experiences at work with colleagues that everyone's slowing down and looking more at humanity. And for me, I like this society better. I don't like the distance. I don't like the isolation, but I like the caring and I like the slowness. But even though I like it, the minute anything seems more normal, it's just our instinct just to speed up and to keep moving forward and keep thinking and keep wanting to push towards the future. And although the pandemic is still going on and there are a lot of places in the world, in the United States, that it's growing, there will be a time when this pandemic ends. And there will be a time when we will be able to go back to offices and our children will go back to school. But I don't want it to go back to the way it was before. I don't want to move so quickly that I don't notice someone that I walk by on the street. I don't want to go so quickly that I miss seeing the flowers and the trees. And I don't want to eat a meal and not taste my food because I'm talking on the phone or I'm worrying about a deadline. I want to find a way to remember the sacredness of every moment and appreciate every moment and see the blessings of every moment. I think this pandemic has showed us that there's nothing wrong with dreams and plans and goals, but that's not the only thing that life's about. We get so busy thinking about what tomorrow will be that we miss out on the beauty of the moment that's in front of us. And I think that's the experience many of us are having, is that we've had to stay home, we've had to be still. And in that stillness, we're more with life as it's happening. You really feel the sun on your face. You listen better to the people around you. And you do taste your food, and you're so appreciative for everything that you have. And it's such a deeper, more meaningful way to live. And we all think we're going to remember it. But it's human nature. The minute things start to speed up and the world goes back to the way it was before, we're just going to speed up with life if we don't remember, if we're not conscious. You know, it reminds me when my mother was sick with breast cancer years ago. And I remember when she was sick, she would make all these resolutions. I'm never going to gain this weight back. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to take better care of myself. I'm going to be nicer to your dad. And as she got better, and I'm so thankful that she got better, as life went back to normal, she went back to a lot of her old habits. And I don't judge her and I don't blame her. But the minute she was able to eat, she went back to her old eating habits. And she didn't work out. And although she remembers the experience that she had, it was hard for her to really change because she got better and she went back to the habits that she had before she got sick. And I think a lot of us can appreciate that. Even when something happens, we're always like, this is it, I'm going to change because I don't want to have that experience again. And then it's hard to break habits. And not being present every day is a bad habit because the world around us is moving so quickly. We feel we have to move just as quickly to keep up. But where is it all going? If we spend more time focusing on a future that we can't see and a future we can't predict and things we can't control, the life we're living will pass us by. And I don't want to miss another moment. I don't want to work when I eat. I don't want to not be around to listen to all my children's stories. And I don't want to not be present for myself and for the people I love and the people I care about. I still have all my big dreams and all my desires. But I want to live a life where every moment is sacred, because life feels so much deeper when each moment is so important. And I'm sure many of you are feeling the same way. Even though it's been tough and there have been struggles, I'm sure you've had a moment in a relationship, or with a friend, or with a colleague, that's been really beautiful. Maybe you're cooking more for yourself. Maybe you're taking walks. Maybe you're meditating. I'm sure many of us have had experiences where we're thinking to ourselves, where have we been all this time? What have we been doing with our lives? And it's not that what we're doing hasn't been important. It's just we weren't always making the moment important and the people in front of us important and taking care of ourselves in the moment. So what can we do? How can we ensure that we remember this time so we don't take our food for granted and the people that help us for granted, and just being alive for granted, each breath for granted? And one of the most important things we can do is write it down. Write down the experience that you're having. Every day, write down the sacredness of each moment and how you're feeling and what you're thinking. Or what have you learned about yourself that's interesting or that's important to you? And what do you want to keep in your life? I promise you that life will speed up again. We're going to start traveling, and work will get more busy, and the kids are going to have all their activities. Whatever fills up your life, it will all come back. But who will you be? And how will you show up for each moment? And how deep and meaningful will each experience be to you? As awake as I thought I was before this pandemic, I feel like someone has put the lights on even brighter, and I don't want to dim those lights, and I'm sure you don't want to either. We all want to be present for laughter, for tears, and for new moments and new relationships, and really figure out what's important to us in this lifetime. So I hope you spend some time thinking about this and journaling and writing about your experience and committing to the new habits you've created during this pandemic, so when life speeds up, there are parts of you that will stay present and move a little slower and more steady. Dreams and goals and passions fill up our lives, but so does smelling the flowers and giving someone a hug and laughing in the moment and enjoying whatever is in front of us. And if we commit today to those things that have really fed us the last couple of months, when the world does go back to normal, we will show up differently. We will be deeper, we will be kinder, we will be more thoughtful, we will be more fulfilled and more resilient to enjoy what we have in front of us and create a future that's filled with new possibilities. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can email me at AllisonAllisonCarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my book, The Gift of Maybe, It's available in all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you could subscribe and leave a comment.